Welcome to Most Interesting Lists. Today we will explore the top 15 psychology insights that will challenge your perceptions and make you ponder the complexities of the human mind. 1. The Stanford Prison Experiment. Our journey begins with one of the most infamous psychology experiments of all time, the Stanford Prison Experiment. Conducted in 1971 by psychologist Philip Zimbardo, this study aimed to investigate the psychological effects of perceived power and authority. Participants were randomly assigned roles as guards or prisoners in a simulated prison environment. What ensued was a disturbing display of how quickly individuals can adopt abusive behaviors when placed in positions of authority, shedding light on the dark side of human nature. 2. The Milgram Experiment. Next, we delve into the Milgram Experiment, another seminal study that examined obedience to authority figures. Led by psychologist Stanley Milgram in the early 1960s, this experiment involved participants administering increasingly severe electric shocks to a supposed learner in another room, under the instruction of an authority figure. Despite the learner's apparent distress, the majority of participants continued to administer shocks, highlighting the powerful influence of obedience to authority even in morally questionable situations. 3. Cognitive dissonance theory. According to this theory, individuals experience psychological discomfort when their beliefs or attitudes are inconsistent with their actions. To alleviate this discomfort, they may either change their beliefs or justify their actions, leading to fascinating insights into human rationalization and decision-making processes. 4. The bystander effect. Our next stop is the bystander effect, a phenomenon that explores how the presence of others affects individual responses to emergencies. Inspired by the tragic case of Kitty Genovese, who was murdered in plain sight of numerous witnesses who failed to intervene, psychologists Bibb Latané and John Darley conducted pioneering research in the 1960s on this topic. They found that the likelihood of bystander intervention decreases as the number of bystanders increases, highlighting the complex interplay between social influence and individual responsibility. 5. The marshmallow test. Shifting gears, we explore the famous marshmallow test, a study conducted by psychologist Walter Mischel in the 1960s to investigate self-control and delayed gratification in children. In this experiment, young children were offered a choice between one marshmallow immediately or two marshmallows if they could wait for a short period. Follow-up studies revealed that children who were able to delay gratification tended to have better life outcomes in areas such as academic achievement and social competence, underscoring the importance of self-regulation skills in predicting future success. 6. The halo effect. A cognitive bias that influences how we perceive others based on single traits or characteristics. Coined by psychologist Edward Thorndike in the 1920s, this phenomenon suggests that our overall impression of a person can be skewed by factors such as physical attractiveness or perceived intelligence. Understanding the halo effect can help us become more aware of our biases and make more objective judgments about others. 7. Learned helplessness. Delving deeper, we explore learned helplessness, a concept introduced by psychologists Martin Seligman and Stephen Mayer in the 1960s through their research on animal behavior. This theory suggests that individuals who experience repeated failure or adversity may eventually develop a sense of helplessness and become passive in the face of future challenges, even when escape or change is possible. Learned helplessness has profound implications for understanding conditions such as depression and anxiety and underscores the importance of fostering resilience and adaptive coping strategies. 8. The Pygmalion effect. Turning to the power of expectations, we examine the Pygmalion effect, also known as the self-fulfilling prophecy. This phenomenon, explored by psychologist Robert Rosenthal and Lenore Jacobson in the 1960s, suggests that individuals tend to perform in accordance with the expectations others have of them. In educational settings, for example, students who are perceived as capable by their teachers may receive more attention and encouragement, leading to improved academic performance. The Pygmalion effect highlights the profound impact of beliefs and expectations on behavior and outcomes. 9. The Dunning-Kruger effect. Shifting gears, we explore the Dunning-Kruger effect, a cognitive bias that involves a lack of awareness of one's own incompetence. Coined by psychologists David Dunning and Justin Kruger in the late 1990s, this phenomenon suggests that individuals with low ability in a particular domain tend to overestimate their competence, while those with high ability may underestimate theirs. Understanding the Dunning-Kruger effect can help us recognize our own limitations and become more open to feedback and self-improvement. 10. Social identity theory. a framework proposed by psychologist Henri Tajfel in the 1970s to understand intergroup behavior and prejudice. According to this theory, individuals derive part of their self-concept from the groups to which they belong, leading to in-group favoritism and out-group discrimination. Social identity theory sheds light on the dynamics of group conflict and offers insights into strategies for promoting social cohesion and harmony. 11. The Hawthorne effect. A phenomenon observed during a series of studies conducted at the Hawthorne Works factory in the 1920s and 1930s. Researchers found that productivity increased when workers perceived that they were being observed, regardless of changes in working conditions. The Hawthorne effect highlights the influence of awareness and attention on behavior, illustrating the complexities of studying human behavior in real-world settings. 12. Freudian defense mechanisms. Delving into psychoanalytic theory, we examine Freudian defense mechanisms, psychological strategies that individuals unconsciously use to protect themselves from unpleasant emotions or threatening situations. Examples include repression, denial, and projection, which allow individuals to cope with anxiety and maintain a sense of psychological equilibrium. Understanding defense mechanisms can provide insights into unconscious processes and the ways in which individuals manage psychological stressors. 13. The foot in the door technique. Shifting to persuasion tactics, we explore the foot in the door technique, a strategy used to influence behavior by starting with a small request and gradually escalating to larger ones. Coined by psychologists Jonathan Friedman and Scott Fraser in the 1960s, this technique capitalizes on the principle of commitment and consistency, making it more likely for individuals to comply with larger requests after initially agreeing to smaller ones. The foot in the door technique is widely used in marketing, fundraising, and social influence contexts. 14. The Zeigarnik effect. A psychological phenomenon that suggests people remember uncompleted or interrupted tasks better than completed ones. Coined by psychologist Bluma Zeigarnik in the 1920s, this effect highlights the brain's tendency to prioritize unfinished tasks, leading to a sense of cognitive tension or intrusive thoughts until the task is completed. The Zeigarnik effect has implications for task management, productivity, and understanding the nature of memory. 15. The placebo effect. Our exploration concludes with the placebo effect, a fascinating phenomenon in which individuals experience improvements in symptoms or outcomes after receiving a placebo treatment with no active ingredients. Research suggests that the placebo effect is driven by psychological factors such as expectancy, conditioning, and the therapeutic relationship between the patient and the provider. The placebo effect highlights the profound influence of mind-body interactions on health outcomes and underscores the importance of understanding the role of belief and expectation in healing processes. There you have it, the top 15 psychology insights that remind us of the endless complexities of the human mind and behavior. From the influence of authority and social norms to the power of expectations and cognitive biases, psychology offers invaluable insights into what makes us tick. If you enjoyed this video, like this video and subscribe to our channel for more fascinating content.